I can do like emojis in the chat. What? From like here, from like the built-in like OBS.
From OBS, that's nice.
Let's do this one. Oh, I need to sign in. Fuck's sake. No, how do I get off this? I don't want to sign in now. And then if I close that, then I close the window. All right, Docker chat. There we go. I think we're live. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I don't fucking know. You don't pay me to do this, so I don't care.
Oh, wow.
Where's my money?
You're not getting any.
Well, then I quit. I quit. Your door just mysteriously opened. Hey, Fox.
That's him.
It's just like, it's really growing up fast.
Yeah, it's mental, mate.
Hi, Timmer. How you doing, mate? How's your Sunday going?
Oh, dude, Jessica just followed me.
Yo.
Definitely not an OnlyFans account.
The Jessica.
Yeah.
Get some feet pics.
Need some for the next thumbnail.
It's raining. Yeah. It's actually quite a nice day where today where I am, but I was supposed to play cricket yesterday, and it was just absolutely just smashing it down for like 12 hours. So I ended up driving like 2 hours and played 0 cricket and came home nice and early. So that was great. Didn't bother me too much. Didn't bother me too much considering it was Remnant Day. So I basically just played Remnant for like 9 hours. So that was right.
Hell yeah. How's that doing now? Is it still on 81, is it?
I think it's that fucking 4 out of 10, dickhead. Genuinely brought it down like 2 points. It's criminal that game only just scraped the 80s, because like right now the vibe I'm getting from that game is like an easy 9. Every environment is so different. The voice acting is great. The boss design is fantastic. The gear so far seems fine. There's a lot of rings and stuff like that, but I'm sure the weapons and mods will start pouring in. We've got a few cool mods now, but yeah, so far it's like a solid 9 right now.
Here is PC Invasion.
Oh, I just realized our stream is it all right?
Lagging around a bit.
Is it all right your end, Timmer? Okay, no, because the KBS just dropped to like 0 on my OBS for a second. It's back up to like 3K, but that was really weird. I think I am wired in, yeah, because my wireless is off, so just spiking the internet. Hopefully that didn't turn up on their end.
Okay, I'm just going to put 2 Tims on the screen for a second while I get rid of that light.
Man's in his boxes. You know what that means. Man's in his boxes. Hey, it's me. Me times 2. No, how do I... There we go. There we go. Ooh woo.
Enough of that.
Do you see what I did?
I came back and I heard you say ooh woo when you were pointing at yourself. So,
no, yeah, but I did that. You know, and then the fingers connected. So I was doing it to myself. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I could have done the fusion.
The fusion dance. Right, let me just
imagine if it worked and I just morphed into something completely new.
What would you be? Just a slightly bigger Tim. You'd be like 8 foot now.
Yeah. 8 foot Tim. Let's go. And I just no.
I think we're looking good. Tim, let's start cooking, boss.
We are.
Have you got the show notes up, by the way?
Yes, mate. I'm here. You're the late one. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready, mate.
You've seen Baguette. You've seen.
I've seen Baguette, man. Yes, I have. Yes. I don't think he's going to turn up, but yeah, we'll do it.
We've got a load of viewers that aren't live viewers, Tim. They're here, aren't you guys? Hi. They watch when they're free, you know.
Bots.
They come
Bunch
here
of
for
bots.
excellent. They come here for excellent content, you know, and then sometimes they give us really good feedback, and you know, you should be more receptive to that.
I'm not receptive to anything.
I know, but you know, you should be. He's called Biggie. Anyway.
Baguette, not Biggie.
Yeah, is that Biggie? Baggeet. Biggie.
Oh. But in the notes you put Baguette Man. Okay, right.
His picture's a baguette. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 107 of the Quick Resume podcast. I hope you're doing well. I'm certainly doing quite well. My name's Deck. Tim is on the other side of the screen, and he's the person on this show with a voice that's not this one.
That's me. Sometimes.
Do your best Deck impression.
I do your best Deck impression. There you go.
Why did I sound like an Italian? Why did I sound like I was trying to sell you a sandwich?
That's what you sound like, dude.
Alright, well, I could have been more offensive, so I mean.
Imagine if you like just got off and then recorded like yourself just to see, and you sounded exactly like that. Would your world just be shattered?
I'm like, hey, why don't we play some Xbox? Hey.
And everyone's like, yeah, you're really Italian, dude, and you sound like no idea.
I'm recording myself a lot for work at the moment, and I would honestly, I'd fall to pieces if that was something I found out.
It'd be amazing.
Well, you know, ladies and gents, it's been a reasonably quiet week, I would say. You know, we've had pretty much the disappearance of Xbox Live Gold, and at the very end of last week, we had the final thing with PlayStation agreeing with Xbox on the ABK deal, and then we found out that this was only a 10-year coverage with CoD and then nothing else. You know, you played yourself. So, to be honest, those are the two main stories this week. We got Game Pass Core and the dropping of Xbox Live, and then this deal with PlayStation. So, stick with us for the ride. We have Remnant 2 to talk about. That's been our game that we've been playing. And if you've been here before, you've heard that we've gushed about the first one quite a lot. We really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting at the first is sitting on a 78, I think, on OpenCritic.
Mm.
To me, that first was like an 8.5. You know.
Oh yeah. I feel like
excellent.
it's one of those games which you can probably judge too early and give a score in it too early before you've actually properly cracked into it. But yeah.
Garnered a bit of a cult classic status, I'd argue.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know anything about it, you know, commonly described as a Souls-like with guns, basically. That's the elevator pitch, and it nails it. You know, it nails it. So we're going to start there. I'm going to keep it real with you. We're probably going to gush about what we've played so far for the early access over the last day and a half, really, of Remnant 2, and then we'll move into the news. So if you're not interested, we'll try and make a funny fucking joke every now and then. I don't know. You know, we'll do our best. Or you can just mute us and come back in maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we'll be
just open up a new tab. But don't you dare fucking close.
Yeah, don't close. Yeah, we need the views. Before you go, just like, and then you can go, and then maybe come back afterwards.
Exactly.
Have an intermission. So, Tim, where should we start, buddy? Do I need to hear about your well-being this week, or is your well-being it's vibrating red crystal?
Nah, my well-being's still at an all-time low. Let's just go straight into Remnant. I'd rather not air
say that.
My
I didn't think you were going to say that.
Tim's depressed. Thanks, man. Let's just dive straight into Remnant. I mean, it's the only thing we've kind of been playing this week because we did do like bits and bobs of Diablo and everything, but I think once we started to reminisce, reviews started crawling in for Remnant, and we started to sort of remember the first one. I just don't think anyone's interested in playing Diablo anymore. I just think that Remnant 2 just kind of took the spotlight at that point. I mean, it was like Friday night, and I could have played Diablo for a few hours, but I was like, the only thing I want to play right now is Remnant. So I ended up just kind of waiting until midnight for that. But yeah, man, it is a very, very, very good game. At least so
That's
far.
a fucking video game.
Yeah.
That is a video game.
And what I love about it is it's lost nothing about what the original did, and it's just improved on it in every way from what I can see so far. But it hasn't lost any of what made the original great. You know, it's still fucking cryptic as hell. It's still just no hand holding. Just go do it. It's really difficult. You know, it's just great, you know, because sometimes with these sequels, especially when they get like more budget and stuff like that, they might try and appeal a bit more to the mainstream sort of thing. You know, as they put more budget into it, they want to make more sales to cover because, you know, they pumped more money into the game, so they need to sell more sort of thing. But I'm glad that they haven't lost any of that, what made the original so great. So yeah, so far we're probably, I think I checked last night. I think we're probably about 10 hours in. I got about 10 hours on my character. Some of that might be a bit of idle time, but yeah, it's really good, man. And it's definitely getting me back into the swing of, you know, logging on and jumping into a party and playing with mates and stuff like that, which I haven't done for the last month or two on Xbox. I've been very much stuck in single player game mode. So
Get
yeah.
it out.
Yeah. So no, it's great. It's really fucking good. What are your initial impressions going into it as well? I imagine quite similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a home run if I've ever seen one. This is a game that puts you on the acquisition map from Gunfire Games right here.
Yeah.
The first one became a cult classic because it had a load of very good ideas. If you don't know sort of the framework, like, okay, so you know, like I said, the elevator pitch is kind of a Souls-like with guns, but what really sets it apart is it's the way it tackles procedural generation, you know, and the way that, you know, beside anything else, the moment-to-moment gameplay is fucking very good. You know, it's in the upper echelon. You know, if we're putting like maybe Division, Last of Us, maybe Gears of War, kind
Destiny.
of S tier shooting, Destiny, well, third person, I mean, this is probably just below them. It's that good, you know. It maybe even at the same heights. And if you don't know, the way it kind of works is that the devs, there are like maybe 5 or 6 dimensions, you know, they're like the levels essentially. And they've put in like, let's say 20 fixed events, maybe more. Like these events will either happen or not happen. They're like, yes, no. Let's say you'll get 4 in a random, in a seed. But then everything else that stitches those events together is procedural. So not only is it unlikely that when you're doing it again, it's going to feel the same, it's also likely that if you're exploring, you come across something you haven't seen before, or a puzzle you haven't seen before, you know. And it's just a really good way to do it, where it's not totally procedural, where everything feels a bit pointless, but it's procedural enough that it makes it keep feeling fresh, because especially with the game's approach to like co-op saves, you know, it does the whole thing where only the host's progression saves, you know. A couple months ago, we were all complaining about that with Redfall.
I think that works for Remnant, though. It works in its favor because everything is different. So it's just it doesn't really matter. Like you said, we kind of gaslit games for doing it a little bit because it's just like it's not very nice when the campaign's just the same for everyone. But for Remnant, I don't think it really matters, right? Because everything is kind of different anyway. So it's kind of like you're just doing a new playthrough regardless.
Yeah, it makes it work. So yeah, and beside anything else, like the love and care put into those events, into the world, even with the procedural generation, it's just really good. This game has so many puzzles and so many secrets, and the first was known for this as well, but they've like kicked it up from, you know, they've kicked it up to like a 12. It's really quite mental, and I mean
Mm,
that in the best way possible. If you follow your nose, you will find something.
yeah,
We were like knee deep in a puzzle inside of a puzzle yesterday, and
yeah,
we eventually got to a door at the end of that second puzzle, and the door needed a key, and we were like, oh well, fuck, So we opened our map, and we're like, well, we've explored everywhere else. Like, where could this key be? So we are doing like all sorts of crazy shit. You know what you do in games when you're like out of ideas? You start like going crazy and like shooting walls and stuff.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, okay, let's go back around this other bit that we haven't looked at in a while. So we went round there, and there's a coffin, which these coffins you like open them and they give loot, which we had done. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I'm just going to try and jump on it for shits and gigs. And I fall through it, and I go to an under the floor level
Hmm.
where it's like waist high water. Fight through that. There's a boss at the end of that. Drops a key. It was like
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. And but that was that. And then the key required for that was to fix the door, to open the door for the puzzle
Hmm.
within the puzzle. Just mental stuff.
Yeah.
And it never feels too ambiguous because it's all in the same level. Like it's not. Sometimes I criticize Elden Ring and some of the Souls games for this, where it's like that one tiny bug on that side of the world is going to help you, open an elevator on the other side of the world. It feels a bit more coherent here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's all a bit more tightly compact, isn't it? And it's a bit,
hmm,
um, yeah, it's just a bit better the way it's done. At least for it being very cryptic like that. But yeah, it's the sort of shit just that puts a smile on your face, isn't it? Like it's great. Like it's infuriating, and you're like, I just don't get it. Where the fuck could this key be? Is my game glitched? But then when you find it, you just like, oh, and you just smile. You're like, I was in the coffin. But like, yeah, it's just
he
really good.
shouted, "I'm a genius" so many times yesterday.
Yeah. And like the puzzles are genuinely good as well. They're not like
Follow a
just
waypoint.
yeah, exactly. It's like you have to like read a little book and memorize some symbols, but then it's not always just a case of matching symbols and stuff like that. Like genuinely, I don't think there's been a puzzle that hasn't taken us about 10 to 15 minutes to just stop all shooting and spend 10 minutes and just be like, I think it's this, and we're bouncing ideas off, and then you do it. I think that's great because I feel like it breaks up the action quite nicely. Like you've got a nice mix of you just stop and figure out a puzzle, you get rewarded for it, and then you're back to shooting rather than just shoot, move forward, follow a waypoint, and just keep fucking shooting. I think it breaks up the
Mhm.
action quite nicely. So yeah, I'm impressed with the puzzles so far. They're good.
Yeah, they've kicked the puzzles up a notch. It's like they at times some of these puzzles feel like they're like in a raid,
Mm.
and I mean that in a good way, like the sort of puzzles you expect to see in a good Destiny raid. The sort of those sorts of mechanics are here, um, and I also feel that they've somehow have balanced it, not just the gameplay, but the puzzle design for co-op.
Mm.
I can't really put my finger on it or explain why. It just feels like it works well. Like there's usually stuff in different places, and it like works to communicate it. While
Mm.
you're both looking at different things.
Yeah.
Um,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It just like relaying like communication and stuff like that instead of running back and forth. Someone just stays there and calls out things, and then you just go and do it. Like you match it on the music thing or the symbols or something like that. And there's just different avenues as well. Like I remember when we got down to the bit that needed the door, like you said. I remember you guys were following down the hallway, going past the trap and everything, and I just went a different way. I just like slid and found a little nook and then went under a sewer and crawled through some fucking
yeah,
like
that's right.
grate. And then you guys were like, "Oh, there's a door here," and I was like, "Oh, I found something like a completely different area." And then it was the key for the door, and everyone was like, "Oh, sweet, nice," But it was all
Mm.
just so tightly compact, and like you said, everyone just kind of the puzzle kind of just works as a group without you even meaning to, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think that's quite nice. You don't ever really feel like you're wandering aimlessly, hoping to see something. Like the thing you're looking for is there. You just have to look for it.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's not often where you're just like, yeah, you it's cryptic, but it's cryptic enough to know that you're missing something in that particular area rather than you're missing something that you went through 30 minutes ago. That doesn't happen that often. And when games do that, then it's a bit annoying because you end up like replaying the whole level or something like that. But so far, at least, this game is just like, yeah, you've missed something in the immediate area. You need to look harder, sort of thing. And I think that's better because otherwise, if it's too wide of an area for you to search, you'll just lose interest, sort of thing. I feel it's like needle in a haystack sort of situation.
Yeah, definitely. I can see in chat Roy, who I don't think we've seen you before. So hi, thanks for coming. Roy says Gunfire is owned by Embracer, which I had forgotten.
I didn't. I wouldn't know that.
However, Embracer,
Are they? Yeah, they're the ones that are tanking at the moment and selling off all their shit, aren't they?
Well, I mean that's the speculation, but yes, they're definitely having some trouble. That's probably putting it lightly. It's a bit of a mystery what's going to happen with all of those companies that they own, that they have embraced.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, one of the questions I imagine our audience is going to want to know is Remnant worth playing solo? What are your thoughts on that, Sam?
I think that is quite a tough one. I haven't really played too much of it solo so far, but I know that our friend, one of them we were playing with, definitely did struggle when he started it solo without us. And I remember he actually said that after he played it with us and he played like our World Seed and did everything as a group, puzzles, all that sort of thing, his opinion of the game went up a lot more. Now, I don't know if that's just because he never played the first one or anything like that.
But that's also just him, isn't it? Like
it is also
just
just him.
He will just be running through the level shooting stuff.
Exactly, but then a lot of gamers will be like Caden as well. So I don't really know. It kind of depends. Like if you do like listening to dialogue and you do like pick up on little hints and stuff like that, I genuinely think you can play this game quite well solo. But I feel like if you're the sort of person, yeah, you like action, you like shooting, and you just kind of that's your main aspect. I feel like you're going to miss a lot of what this game has to offer, especially if you're not bouncing off things off like a group member. And I also think certain classes definitely favor solo play better. I feel like if you're going to be playing it primarily solo, I'd either go the tanky class that can kind of self-res and challenger, that's it, or I'd recommend going handler because you got like an AI companion with you, your dog, and that can like buff you with healing and defense, and it can take aggro, it can also res you, stuff like that. I feel like all these things will help you in solo play rather than picking someone who's just shooty. But yeah, I feel like if you're going solo, I'd recommend one of those two classes. But from what I can tell, it can absolutely be played solo, but I think it's better as a group, obviously. Yeah.
So my thoughts are, I played for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half after you guys went to bed last night, and I just went onto my world and whatever, and I did one of the bosses I came across was the I did the gazing guy.
With
the madness.
So did you start
solo that?
Sorry to interrupt. Did you start the adventure mode then? Did you do that?
No, I just carried on with my world seed.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because we were playing on mine, weren't we? Okay, yeah, no,
and that took a couple of tries. Like it wasn't easy, but it was a challenge. Felt good to do it. But if you're not up for this, I mean, we're only on the second difficulty, which is veteran, and that's like normal essentially. There is one lower than that, but it's just important to bear in mind, like if you're not into difficult shooters, I don't know if Doom is an apt comparison, a reasonably challenging shooter. Maybe it wouldn't be for you solo. I
mean, it
does scale.
It is Souls-esque, isn't it? The game is genuinely like a Soul. It fits into a Soul genre, so like it is going to be difficult. There are the same sort of dodging mechanics and the same sort of combat mechanics. Bosses have mechanics, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly. And stuff will kill you in 2 to 3 hits, sort of thing. Like genuinely, like it is difficult. It's known to be a difficult game. So no,
but there's no there's no punishment mechanic in the same way that Souls has. Like if you die, you drop your currency, and there's nothing like that. You just go back to a checkpoint. So
Yeah.
while it is hard, it's not as punishing. I guess my answer to the question of like, is it soloable? Is I think the game is balanced around co-op. I think it's balanced around 3 players, and I think it's balanced very well around 3 players. But I think it would still work fine solo. In my time playing with it, it's challenging, but it is more atmospheric. But definitely doable, definitely still fun. And like I said, the actual shooting mechanics are so good that it's still fun to just kind of wander around and shoot stuff. You know, it's one of those sorts of games. And we didn't even really touch on the progression. I suppose, yeah, I did that last night as well. I made one of the engrams and fiddled around with having two classes.
Oh, nice. What did you go with? Medic?
Well, I did I found one of the guys was selling like a metal thing. So I did the challenger first, thinking I would get the self-res, but you don't get the prime perk. You just get access to the abilities and like the passive perk.
Oh, I see.
So I did that, and that was cool because he has like a stomp with like an AoE shockwave, and that was quite good. But I was like, I wanted it for when I was soloing last night, and I was like, this isn't really going to keep me alive any longer. You know, some of it was like some of the buffs and the passives and the traits were like more damage up close, more damage resistance up close, and that wasn't really what I was spec'd for. But I could have changed my weapon into either a shotgun or like a fully automatic something, and then I would have been. I can't remember what it was called. The name they had like different name configurations, like a different title depending on which way round you had the. So there's going to be like 25 different like class names by the end of it, depending on the combination and which is your primary and which is your secondary, which is really cool. And then I did the medic, which seems like it's going to be a really popular secondary because you just get like flat damage buffs. And you get like healing fields and damage to your healing and some relic buffs as well. So it seems like it's going to be a really popular and a really good one, especially for solo play. So I will add that as well. You do get the opportunity to merge, like combine classes. So you can always experience a solo class, like the handler, or the medic, or the challenger with something else, like the gunslinger or the hunter.
Yeah, no, that is quite interesting. Yeah, I'll probably try doing that today. Yeah. And is it quite easy? Is it like once you get like the engram thing to get the second one, can you just flick between them, or do you like need to like if you have
you flip between them?
Okay, cool. Nice.
I suppose the only other thing that we haven't spoken about is I just wanted to quickly gush over the bosses. The bosses have been so good. They were really good in the first one as well. But they've just been great. They've been so creative. There's been one in particular that was a massive standout, which we did last night. That was probably one of my favorite bosses, probably period. In a co-op game. It was just so creative, and the way you had to go about doing it and learning it. Because it on the like superficially, it feels like kind of lame, but the actual mechanics of it are not lame.
No, it was great. Yeah.
All of them have mechanics. None of them are just bullet sponges. There are damage checks. There are moments where you need to time your rolls. There are placement checks, stamina checks, all sorts of stuff.
I mean, hell, some aren't even bosses. It's just make your way through an area like this. You just have to. You like kind of put on like a timer. There's something going on, and it's just you just have to survive and make your way to the end, sort of thing.
Yeah, I was trying to solo that last night actually before I went to bed.
Oh God,
I have that on my seed. I got to the very end on my third go. It turns out you can shoot the crystals before you start the run.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
And I also figured out that they don't cause any wipe; they just explode like intermittently. So if you're near it, you take damage. So it is worth destroying them. But that was also a really fun fight. Yeah, like you said, it's not even just shooting stuff. Some of it's just like a gauntlet. Very, very, very fun. And when you bear in mind that all of the things we've discussed here are part of the procedural generation, like you're not always going to have that boss. And then sometimes you might complete that boss or that gauntlet differently, and that might give you a different reward to craft something new. There are secrets in the bosses like that, like alternate kills, which we haven't kept an eye out for yet, really. But it's just layers on layers. You know, I would describe Remnant 2 as like a trifle,
A wedding cake.
maybe like a wedding cake. Yeah.
And I want to marry that shit.
Put a ring on that bad boy.
I want to honeymoon it. That's right.
So that's Remnant 2, really. If you can't tell, we're really, really impressed by it. And we were always going to love it because the first was great. But this second one has taken it to heights that honestly feel kind of evolutionary in some ways. I don't think many other games are doing what Remnant is doing. And Remnant 2 pushes it much further, and like it looks really pretty as well. We haven't mentioned that. It looks really pretty on Unreal Engine 5. It feels like Remnant 2 feels like Dark Souls 1 to me, or it feels like one of the like Monster Hunter Freedom. It feels like those harder action games that finally have cracked to the formula. Like they've expanded it, and it's like a fully featured experience. Like this, it's probably going to turn into a trilogy or a franchise. And like, if this is what number 2 looks like, I am incredibly excited to see what number 3 and number 4 look like. You know, I think they've got something here. I think they've got a Monster Hunter, or they've got a Dark Souls here.
Yeah, definitely. Also worth mentioning, not a full price game as well. It's like a
somehow.
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like this game is gonna have an insane amount of content in it. But like, yeah, I think we bought like the ultimate edition, the highest edition you can get, which is early access, future DLC, access to an archetype, the gunslinger or whatever, and some other stuff basically. And that was £58. 58 of the great British pounds. And yeah, that was for like the ultimate edition. So I think the standard edition is probably like 38, maybe 40, I think.
Yeah. I think it's $50 the base edition.
Yeah, so impressive. Yeah, considering how much we're enjoying this, and it's not even a full price AAA game. You know, it's pretty impressive. It feels AAA as well, might I add. Like, it just feels it. Like,
we haven't really had any bugs. I mean, there's like a little UI bug. I think we've had like a minor connection issue.
Yeah, we've had sometimes game sessions aren't joinable, and you like need to like close and reopen the lobby sort of thing. But I think that's also partly due to like quick resume or something. Not us, but I mean the feature.
Right.
We're in the servers, boys.
Don't get it twisted, you know.
Yes, I think it might just have something to do with that. Sometimes the quick resume feature can mess around with online games. But yeah, generally it's been pretty good. Yeah.
Wow. I'm very excited to play more of this video game. Tim.
Me too.
All right. Any closing thoughts before we move on?
No, I'm good. I think we've spoke about it enough.
Cool. I mean, so I suppose, I mean, it was like half an hour to the dot, really. So that's pretty good of us. But at least we're honest, you know. I'm sure we're gonna go up to sort of 1,000 viewers now.
Yeah.
As we start speaking about Xbox again, you know.
Of course.
So I wanted to start. It's funny I say that because the next bit of news isn't even really Xbox related, but it has been the theme of the week. I suppose I wanted to talk about everybody talking about Diablo 4 right now. And I just kind of wanted to get a vibe check here with chat, with Tim, with ourselves, maybe have a little conversation with ourselves.
Sure.
Do we do this every time, guys? You know, do games launch and then they get supported for 3 months and then we all go, oh, fucking hell. This is the worst. This is the biggest pile of dog shit I've ever seen. I loved this 10 minutes ago and now...
Yeah.
And now it's like I've been fed a mousse of rotten egg and feces.
Yeah,
you know,
basically.
Are we is that are we? Oh, do we need to turn inward here? Oh, do we not? Or is this an outlier that's justified by just abhorrent behavior and game design?
I feel like it's just very exaggerated, and I feel like a lot of it is to do with influencers. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like these people that spend, and they can do that, obviously it's their career, great, whatever, but they spend their entire fucking lives playing this. They play it all day, every day. They stream it for 10 hours, whatever. They really get through the content super quick, whatever. They got their builds, they perfected everything. So when things change and it doesn't go the way that they like, they throw their toys out of the pram. They don't like it. The game's dead. And I feel like when they make videos about this, that really influences people, like just the general public, to also feel the same way. Whereas they probably wouldn't have even noticed or been that outraged about it. Like I genuinely feel like it just feeds into it. Like, and it's so unnecessary. Like I get it. They have made some balance changes that are quite different, it's going to make the gameplay different. Essentially, everyone is just saying, on the whole, everyone's characters got nerfed. Everyone's builds got nerfed. The shit they were doing is now twice as hard to do, and the rewards are now harder to get that they were obtaining, twice as fast prior to the update. But I don't know if that's.
I don't know what you were expecting.
Yeah, exactly. They have to.
This is
change it up slightly, and they have to increase the longevity of their game. Unfortunately, they can't just make completely unique content on a rolling fucking 2-week period to, keep you guys sustained that play it 10 to 12 hours a day. Like, it's just not possible. Like, no game can ever do that. So they're going to have to make changes that like this sometimes, and they're going to have to shake up the meta. And then the funny thing is when people end up starting playing this new update, I've seen videos of, they uploaded videos, they're actually like, it's actually not as bad as I thought, like I'm actually having a little bit of fun with it. And it's just like,
got my views though.
Yeah. Can you take down that previous video then of you slamming about it for 20 minutes then, prior to actually playing the update? I just don't, people just, they're so quick to judge, and it just spreads negativity. And as everyone knows in the gaming industry, negativity spreads so fucking quick. It is unreal compared to positivity. It's not even fucking funny.
It's crazy though, isn't it? It's almost a bit contaminating. There are times where I almost feel like the negativity has contaminated me, and I'm quite anti-negativity with this sort of stuff. Like with balance changes, like it just kind of, I don't know. It feels like a dark, like fog that like follows you around, and it's like I don't want to be bummed out about this. Can we not? I guess maybe it's like the algorithm sort of stuff, or there's some sort of psychological phenomenon that I don't understand going on here. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but if the internet is really focusing on like how bad one thing is, you start to feel weird about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it changes your perception of it. Yeah. Like naturally I would view the update to be more negative than I would just going in blind or anything like that. Yeah, or just and that's what I think has caused it. It's just there's just been so much early negativity about it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think the update seems bad overall at all. And I haven't been too much into Diablo myself, so it's hard to get a vibe check on it from my end. But I don't have any issues with the patch or season 1, and I do plan on diving into it eventually. So yeah.
And I guess because in the grand scheme of things, Tim, this first season has come like what 2.5 months after launch.
Yeah, it is season 1.
Maybe less.
There's gonna be kinks to it.
But yeah, I mean, it's not only that, but it's like the pace here has been very good. Like, there's been 2 major balance patches in that time, and they've done pretty frequent tweaks. And now season 1 is here with a battle pass, with with new content, with new quests, with new loot, and it just feels a bit dramatic to be like, well, you've nerfed me, and so I need to go on a tirade. You know, this is a fucking service loot game. I
Mhm.
still don't understand why we have to have this conversation with every single video game, because every single time it's the same with all of these loot games. The same thing happens, even if they're like the most perfectly exquisite game that's run perfectly. The community will still be like, "Why you nerfing stuff? Why you nerfing stuff?"
Yeah.
I say,
I want to use my bone lance for 90 years of game time. Why are you nerfing my bone lance? It's just like, well, I don't know. Try something new. It's season 15.
yeah, there's just a lot of reasons. Like you should expect this sort of stuff with this sort of game. You know, it might be the case that they're planning to bring stuff in further down the line, and that's going to interact really badly with the way things are now. So they've got to nerf it. They want to create these games so they're sandboxy, you know, and that means players can discover things that they couldn't have conceived of. And that means you're going to find stuff which is busted sometimes, and you can have your fun with it, and then they're going to bring it down and sort of bring it in line with everything. And it's just
Mhm.
power creep is a thing, guys. And I'm really sick of this conversation because to me, it's just such a futile argument. Like, oh,
Yeah.
just buff things, just keep buffing things. It's like,
I just don't understand like how that's fun either.
what's the logic
Like,
there?
are you having fun when you've got a build that can kill Uber Lilith in 3 seconds? Like, I don't understand. Sure, that's going to be fun for a little bit, but eventually you're just going to stop fucking playing the game if you can kill the hardest piece of content in 5 seconds flat. Like, so
Yeah,
they have to do something to keep you coming back, to keep that challenge, that obtainable, you know, or like nerf it to the point where you need to find something else, a different way to kill Uber Lilith in 5 seconds. That's what keeps that carrot dangling. If they just keep it the same, you won't log into their game in like the next 2 weeks. You just won't.
yeah.
You're gonna get
And
sick of being that powerful.
you're right, and I think a lot of players lose sight of that. That like what makes these games fun is the journey. Like once you're actually at the tippy top, that's kind of fun. And you know they have like numbers and stats, so you can grind for like slightly better numbers and stuff like that. Sure, that's its own thing, but the fun part of it is grinding and slowly edging your gear towards what you want to be at, and then you're 75% there, and then you know some synergy clicks, and all of a sudden your numbers are doubling, and it's like, oh, you know, that's the fun part. The fun part of these games is not to have a quintuple S tier exploit build, which just deletes the whole screen over and over again. And I
Mm.
think some people get caught up in that so much. And like you say, it's usually the content creators who get that in day 3. You know, I saw yesterday, congratulations to player X who hit level 100. It was out for like 30 hours at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, "Where's my content?" It's just like,
Yes.
well, I don't know. Fucking sleep.
Where's your job? Where's your
Yeah.
employment?
You fucking sleep, and the game would have lasted a bit longer, mate. Like, I don't know what you want us to say.
Yeah. It's I'm sure there's some valid critique amongst all of this. I've watched a couple of videos. I get it. And I also should say I understand the feeling of like a build you've spent a long time on getting nerfed. I do get that, but I just think you should know going into these games to expect that sort of thing. Things are going to change, things are going to get nerfed, and it's part of the journey. You move to another build. Okay, no problem. You know, it does just kind of feel that it's a bit of an NPC response now. You know,
Yeah,
that a live service game comes out and then there's an update, and we go, well, this isn't the exact same thing that the game
yeah.
was 1 month ago.
You're
I am
making me
angry
nervous.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I will now T-pose for 10 minutes straight until things change.
Did you see the all right, see you, Timmer. Have a good one, mate.
So there, buddy.
Did you see the really funny video of like one of the sweatiest players on Diablo? It's like this long-haired ginger guy. I don't know his name, and he's got like a moustache. But yeah, basically he
Yeah.
was going through like talking about season 1. He had a hardcore character and everything like that. And he was just like, season one's actually better than I expected. I've got this, that. He spent like 10 minutes explaining his whole build, all of this, of like the hearts and all that, and like the synergy. He's really loving the synergy. You know, the season's actually all right. And mate, he was literally it was like fucking like listening to a lecture. And then right at the end of the video, as he was like explaining his build and killing mobs, some random shit happened and his character just got deleted and died on screen. And then it was a hardcore character as well, while he was going through all his numbers and stuff like that. And then he was literally just like, I just died showing you my build. This game fucking sucks. And the video just ends. But like, it was so funny.
Are you talking about DM Diablo 4?
Maybe, yeah, like the long-haired ginger guy.
Yeah, Diablo 4. No, I like his stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, he can be a bit toxic sometimes,
God,
but yeah, he's all right. It was so funny, dude. You gotta watch it. It was actually the funniest thing. And obviously everything he just talked about was just completely redundant because he had like a fine-tuned build and it was a hardcore character, so that's all just lost into the ether now. Everything he just talked about was gone.
That's so rough.
It's like, why would you fucking record a video and like half not pay attention on a hardcore character? That is like so ridiculous.
At least it has some virality to it, you know, perfectly cut scream or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that. Have you been on that subreddit? It's such a good subreddit.
No, I haven't. No.
Perfectly cut screams. And they even have like a pinned post of like, what is a perfectly cut scream? They have like a line like graph. And it's like, as the scream hits its like apex, it cuts there.
Yeah.
So it's like, ah!
Yeah, I do love that.
Shit makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are good.
What is that about? Why is that funny? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Tim. Sea of Island Monkey Thieves.
Oh, I want to play that. Sea of Monkey Thieves.
Sea of Island Monkey Thieves. Sea of Thieves, Monkey Island, I think came out yesterday. I think. Oh, that would be a Saturday, and that would be a bit weird. It came out recently, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? It goes like this. It goes ba 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 ba. I think it is.
Yeah, that's a beat. I like it.
Did you ever play any of the old Monkey Islands?
I do remember playing one of them on my PC, like my shared family PC with my brothers. I think Ben was quite into the Monkey Island games, so I do remember one. Yeah, but I can't remember which one it was. But yes, I have played one. Yeah.
Did you fire cannonballs out of a ship?
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh, all right. Well,
So
I played a
inferior.
few. Yes, I played a few on my dad's laptop when I was little. It's very 90s. It's a very 90s sort of experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
on the shared family computer on my dad's laptop.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always thought they were great. And it just a random fact has popped into my head. If you have heard that theme tune that I just so excellently replicated, the same composer for that. Yes, firstly subscribe, but secondly, open your ear holes for this little chunk of knowledge. The same composer for that did the composition for Hearthstone.
Oh, would you look at that? And that's a banger as well.
It's a banger. He's the man's got talent. I think, man. Oh god, that person's got talent.
You can't assume these days.
That
entity has talent.
That was bad. Yeah, no, that was not ideal. Yeah, so you know me and Sea of Thieves. You know, I get to have my shit-eating grin every time Sea of Thieves gets a bit of success, and I get to say "fuck you" to all of you for doubting, for declaring games dead. You know, a week after launch, as you do. You're all fucking stupid, basically. You got no taste. You got brain like cabbage.
Burning a lot of bridges here, mate. Like Jesus.
You might as well not have any joints. fucking little spaghetti people
Yeah.
flopping around your houses, flopping around your
Fucking
jobs.
smooth and silky stone for a brain.
Yeah. And all of that could have been avoided if you had just said, you know what? I don't like Sea of Thieves, but I think other people might.
Yeah,
No,
I think there's something
couldn't
here.
do it, could you?
I mean, we can't
couldn't
we
do
can't deny that, you know, the most fun you could have in that game on launch was eating a banana, but
It's pretty fun.
it was it was it was bound to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So
It had an obvious good foundation.
mhm.
But even now, if you didn't like it at launch, you won't like it now. I reckon for the most part, because it's just the game is about. It's like a social sandbox, basically. I've never played a game like it. I don't think there is a game like it
No.
in its design. You know.
Yes, truly
So
remarkable
fuck
what
you.
it's done. Yeah. Mhm. I'm happy. I'm happy for it. And I love Sea of Thieves. I've pumped a lot of time into, way more time than I ever thought I'd pump into that game. Yeah, it's a good game. But
And more than anything else, it's one of the real poster boys for Game Pass. In a good way, because it keeps getting free support.
yeah,
Free support, big crossovers, you know, Disney and now LucasArts, or both Disney, I guess. You know, these are great crossovers. You know, I still remember the Pirates Alive getting announced and how fucking hyped that was for everyone. You know, that was so exciting. Even if you didn't like Sea of Thieves, you couldn't help but get a little bit excited that was a real thing.
yeah, that is cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Collaboration.
What's next, Tim? What's the next crossover?
For Sea of Thieves, I'm thinking something exo-primal. I'm thinking shooting a T-Rex in the water with the cannons.
I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was also thinking maybe like Resident Evil.
It's fucking dumb.
Maybe like Oppenheimer.
That would
Maybe maybe like Lord of the Rings.
In all seriousness, though, I'm just trying to think of something that actually might.
Actual
Without
guesses
being
could be
too
like Peter
wacky.
Pan
Because you
or
can't.
One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece could be something because like you could argue like, oh, let's like think about it like how Fortnite do all their collaborations, but Fortnite can just do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter. Their world makes no sense. But Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
they try and blend it into being sea themed in some way, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's got to be ship related. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but I could see One Piece. One Piece could be a thing. Yeah.
Maybe Cyberpunk.
Yeah, One Piece could be a thing. Yeah.
Is this thing on? It's weird.
Yeah, One Piece.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I salute you, Sea of Thieves. You know, you give me at least once a year the opportunity to just really lay into people who I don't like, really. And I can pretend that it's just because they didn't trust your vision.
Yeah.
And that's a good opportunity that I don't get in most other areas of my life. So thank you for that, Rep. Thank you.
Yeah, it's truly a gift that doesn't have a price on it. So
No, it doesn't. No price. Yeah. Speaking of prices, Tim. Shit, where am I going with this?
You're gonna go.
Speaking of prices, Tim.
Tiers.
Yeah, speaking of prices, isn't it good to be able to just like a YouTube video for free?
I think it's a bit overrated, personally. So if you guys subscribe for $5.99, you can now like our video.
Now that's underrated. Paying for a sub is so like off the radar. Like
it's ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a completely unique experience.
You can really define your personality by who you subscribe to. It's really quite a bit of a hipster thing, you know. You're very cool. No particular reason we're bringing it up. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
We don't even have a paid subscription option
yet.
Yes. All right. what I was actually going to do is the whole Game Pass core thing and Xbox Live Gold thing.
Ah.
Today's thumbnail is again made with Bing AI. I think I typed in Xbox Live Gold dying and going to heaven, did that, and then I did a bit of blending, and then I put in Xbox Gold, and I could have done a bit more effort with the text, to be honest, but
It's good. It's good, man.
Hard time. You know, I tried my best, you know. And honestly, I forgot until yesterday, so I did it in the middle of the day. So yeah, it's just I just had to get off my chest. Feeling bad about it. Okay, Tim, Xbox Live Gold is dying. It's dying. It's going to be put out of its misery in September. A gun is loaded in its mouth. It's drawing its closing breaths.
Damn.
And in its place, we're getting totally not Xbox Live Gold. Totally the brand new, cool looking Game Pass Core.
Sleek, some might say. Young, hip.
In with the kiddos. Yeah.
Whoa, don't say kiddos. Yeah, that's creepy.
I've got a link to the website on the notes if you want to have a look. You know, maybe Tim.
I am already sharing.
Maybe
the
you
screen. I'm already sharing the screen. I'm way ahead of you.
It's good. It's good. Like, see, if Baguette Man hadn't suggested that we do this, we wouldn't be here running a premium show.
Yeah.
So this is why it's important that you guys keep telling Tim to do stuff, because he'll do it when he's put under pressure. You know, a little bit of fire.
Don't tell me to do too much stuff though.
And he'll cook.
I do cook.
So what we've got here is Game Pass Core, $9.99. Game Pass Console, $10.99. Game Pass PC, $9.99. And then Game Pass Ultimate, familiar, $16.99. Of course, a lot of these prices went up the other month. Last month, I should say. Tim, we saw this news last week. I said it in the chat, didn't I? Any thoughts off the top?
It's fine. Like, it was bound to happen. Xbox Live Gold is fucking nothing anyway. Like, just get rid of it, right? I mean, who in their right mind is actually looking forward to their games for gold? Games. Like, just fucking...
Yes.
It was high time. It just got lopped off and just blended into, you know, what makes Xbox what it is. And that's, you know, Games Pass at the moment. You know, blend it into the main feature, the main selling point of all your future titles and all the future of the platform, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Makes sense. I like it.
You could certainly make the argument, though, couldn't you, that with games with gold going away, there is an objective loss of value. Because you own those games forever.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Games with gold games you own forever. You download them and you own forever. They don't go.
Yeah.
You have them.
I know. Oh, I see what you mean, because everything is technically temporary for Games Pass, but
yeah.
Well, not actually. No, not really, because all first party is always Games Pass, or forever and always.
Oh, what about the core branding? What's going on there? Oh, is this good? Do we like this core? Because they did the Xbox Elite core, didn't they? Like 4 months ago, and it was just like it's an Elite, but it doesn't have any like paddles or any of the extra shit or the extra nublets, the sticks, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess core is a good terminology for something, you know, like at its most basic sort of form, like a starting point, I guess. I don't know what other terminology you'd use or other word you could use. I think it's all right. You're not happy with it?
I'm not unhappy with it. I think if I was to score it, I'd give it a 7.
What would you use in its place?
I think it's fine.
Games Pass for the gamers with a Z.
For the gamers tier, yeah. I guess I'm not even convinced that having Game Pass as the tiers is the play. Firstly, because they've this is another point, but online play is included in some, but not the other, and that's fucking confusing.
Mm.
The actual core, yeah. The other thing is, I don't feel like it's a clear hierarchy. You know, with PlayStation Plus, it's what is it? Premium plus premium, no, extra plus premium and extra. No, fuck the other one. You know what I mean?
I think it's plus extra and
Extra premium. Yeah. That to me, that you can think of that and you see that in the shop and you're like, well, extra is better than plus and premium is obviously better than extra. If you're a parent and you go into a shop and you're like, fucking, I mean, I know Ultimate's the best. I can figure that much out.
Yeah.
What's core? What's console? And what's PC? And why is PC cheaper than console? Can I just get that and use that for my console? Let me get my kiddo console because he's got console. Put in the code. There you go, kiddo. Your kiddo comes down 10 minutes later. I can't play online. Well, why the fuck not? It was the second most expensive tier.
That's what the parent said. Why the fuck not?
What have you done? What have you broken?
Okay.
I think that's a problem. I think there's a problem there that is not clearly communicated just through the name alone.
Do you think it should be called like games? Oh, just hit my own nut. Oh,
careful.
You think it's called like? You think it should be called like Games Pass Online, Games Pass?
Yeah,
more, and then Games Pass Ultimate.
more and more-ish. Yeah, I don't know why they're so scared of using normal fucking words. I don't know. Like, it's like a bunch of lizards get together and they're like, what would the people
humans,
say?
Yeah.
What would the humans say? It's like, well, it's a console, so let's call it console. It's like, I think we can do better here, guys. You're being paid like the GDP of small countries, like in just your paycheck. I think you can do better than this.
Nah, mate.
It's fine.
That's all they need to do.
It's fine, and that's like a success for Microsoft. To be fair, like fine is pretty good for that company. I'm glad it's not bad, you know, like, but I think the whole thing needed a bit more synergy. So overall, I think it is a W. There is some caveats, and there's another caveat here, which is the Game Pass console, Tim.
Yeah. Also, why can't they just lean into keeping the colors or the tiers to just be like, just rebrand it, like still call it Xbox Live Gold, but you just call it like, you got Games Pass Silver, you got Games Pass Gold, and then you got Games Pass Diamond. That's pretty clear, right?
I think so. Yep.
Like, you know that gold's better than silver, you know that diamond's better than gold, and you keep in similar terminology. It's basic, it's can apply to everyone. It can apply to an 11-year-old walking into Blockbuster. It can apply to an adult.
Yeah. I mean, one of the problems they're up against is that they're charging different amounts from PC to console. You know, you're being charged to play online on console, but that sort of competition isn't there on PC, and it's a real problem because anytime we have to have this discussion about Game Pass, or not just Game Pass, but just subscription services and online play on any consoles, we all go, "Oh yeah, they don't do this for PC. Like, I have to pay to have the privilege to access my own Wi-Fi. Fucking thank you."
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I'm sure that cost goes towards something like maintenance or whatever. You know, I get it, but you manage it on PC. So that somewhat probably stops a simpler approach like a bronze, like, you know, silver, gold, diamond, because if gold represented console and PC, then they'd have to have two different prices. I still think that would be more straightforward. Like, they could just have Game Pass Gold console, Game Pass Gold PC, but you know. So let's just start. I wanted to say something about Core first. So Core is replacing Xbox Live Gold essentially. Anybody who just has Gold and no Game Pass will get converted into Game Pass Core.
Yeah.
You get the online play, you get the member deals and discounts as you usually do, and you'll get a catalog of over 25 high quality games on console. Tim, are you still sharing the screen?
I am. Yeah.
If you scroll to the bottom of the page, we can see some of the examples there.
Among Us. Descenders. Okay.
It's a good one, Descenders. I like that game.
All right. I mean, some of these are bangers, to be fair.
I think this is good. I like this list.
Yeah, there's a nice mix of like fun games. There's like a Human Fall Flat, then just to like fuck around. You got Inside for your indie and Among Us for your indies. You got some classics in there, Fable. You got some new ones, bangers. Yeah, pretty good overall. Where's okay? I was kind of expecting to see Halo Infinite in here, but guess not.
No, well, Infinite's free to play. I mean, I suppose maybe
Not
the campaign, but yeah, I mean, they haven't got any super recent stuff in here, but
Psychonauts.
I think it is
too.
interesting.
It's pretty new.
Yeah, that's probably the newest out of all of them, isn't it? 2021 Psychonauts. Really leaning into the Bethesda catalog here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Son of Doom, ESO, Fallout 4, Fallout 76.
ESO?
Hmm?
Oh, yeah,
ESO
ESO
Tamriel
is one
London,
there.
yes,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. I just kind of blanked that. I just didn't even see that. Yeah.
And I also heard this, some of the guys on, I can't remember which show I heard it on. Was it maybe Xbox Era last night? I can't remember. It all becomes a blur sometimes late at night. That there's only 19 games here, and it's possible the other 6 are leaning into the ABK catalog when that finally goes through. I imagine it,
Interesting.
they added a couple of Call of Duties here, maybe a Marvel game, like one of the Ultimate Alliance or something.
And then
Maybe a Blizzard game, Diablo 3.
yeah, Reaper of Souls. Yeah, you could probably see something like that. Yeah. Maybe 2 Resurrected, but I think that still might be a bit too recent.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah. Yeah, you could be right there. Yeah.
So I do like this. I think this is good. I think this is a nice rounded collection that someone can just has, and they said that they're going to add to it. It's not going to stay at 25. They will add to it. I'm sure they will swap stuff out every now and then. But these are good quality stuff. I've said Will of the Wisps is one of my favorite games ever. Inside is one of my favorite games ever. Hellblade is one of my favorite games ever. So even just to me personally, Eternal is a fucking banger. Dishonored 2, a fucking bang. Again, one of my favorite games. So this is even just for me. Psychonauts 2.
Some
this
great
is very, very
shooters, some long-lasting RPGs in there. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. So that's Core. Fine. I like that. I think Core as a tier, great. I think what Core does is it fucks around with the perception of everything else. So Game Pass Console, Tim, which is $1 more a month, you have the full Game Pass catalog. It's what Game Pass is now. But there's no online play in it.
Oh. Okay.
So I'll just give you my vignette so to help it make sense. Because there's a bit of confusion and I've seen a little bit of outrage. I think some of it's a bit confusing. But I also do think this system strong arms you into Ultimate a little bit, which can be problematic. So, in my example, I used the conversion thing years ago. Whatever that for me, that expires in April 2024. So after that point, I'm going to have to start committing to buying stuff for the year, in bulk or paying monthly. Ultimate is clearly the most expensive tier. I don't know how much it's going to be on a yearly basis, but it's not that cheap, to be honest. It's I think it will be £150, something like that, maybe 140. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
As it was before, I could have bought Xbox Live Gold and console, which would have been more expensive than this current option we're looking at on screen, which is $11, $10.99. Is it going
Yeah.
to be in the cost of gold and content? But it wouldn't have been as much as Ultimate, which is currently $16.99. I don't have that option now. I have to have Ultimate. I like Ultimate, but when I don't want to pay the full price, I don't want to be paying for PC cross saves. I don't use PC. I don't want to be paying for cloud. I like cloud, but I'll only pay for it on the premium when I think I'm going to get use out of it. I don't need EA Play. It's nice, but again, I'll only pay for it on the premium when I think I really need it.
Yeah.
So I think this is a problem. There's nothing in between where it doesn't feel as granular as I'd like it to. It's nearly double the price of the console version. So I kind of wish they would just add online play to the console tier and bump it up $1 or $2.
Wait. Are you sure? I would have just assumed console had online.
It doesn't. It's on the. Are you seeing it on the notes?
Yeah. But
Yeah, okay.
I would have read it as obviously core, online, everything like that. Console, obviously more expensive. It just has these additional ones plus everything that core has. But I'm guessing that's not the case.
Yeah, very, very quickly, just share that bit with everyone, just so they know what we're talking about.
I am. I'm literally looking at it right now as I'm talking to you.
Oh, are you? Oh, that's right. I think the stream's caught up. Oh, yes, yeah, stream's caught up. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, there's no online play for the console version, so it's Game Pass as it is today. Like you can buy Game Pass and it's a standalone package, and it doesn't come with gold.
Mm.
But the
Yeah, I
problem
see
is
what you
that
mean.
they've made core, which is essentially what gold was.
Yeah. Well, obviously you can see why they've done it. Like you said, they're trying to strong arm you into Ultimate and get that $5 extra a month.
Yeah, which is my problem. Which wouldn't
Yeah.
be a problem because Ultimate is a good package. It's just
Yeah.
it's a good value package. It's just if I want to spend a bit less, I should be able to make that decision of which part of that sub I want to pay for.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It seems kind of crazy that if you want to keep Games Pass as we're using it now, your only option is Ultimate
Yeah, that's right.
with online
Exactly.
multiplayer. Yeah.
Whereas before, if we wanted to stop subscribing to Ultimate, we could have done Game Pass as it is now with gold, and that would have been cheaper.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Than Ultimate.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see why that's rubbing people up the wrong way. Yeah. It just comes across a bit a bit underhanded, doesn't it? A bit cheeky.
That's right.
And
it, like I say, like a lot of people say, it's Ultimate in this package is pretty much the same price as what Game Pass and Gold is today. Pretty much. Ultimate is a little bit more expensive, but the point I'm making, guys, is that there's stuff in Ultimate that I don't want if I'm on a bit more of a budget that year or the next 6 months or whatever. I don't have that choice now. I can't have just Gold or Gold and Game Pass or Gold and Game Pass Ultimate. I have to either have console with no online or Ultimate with everything. That's the point I'm trying to get. Whereas PC, I think just PC. Oh, well, I don't think that's even part of the plan. So PC has everything really that you would want. For $10, you don't pay for the online membership, but you get the full catalog, you get the EA Play, so PC gets a very good deal with this.
Yeah, PC essentially spend $7 less a month and get what we get.
Pretty much the same thing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That seems quite premium for us to have to pay. Essentially, when you boil it down to that, we're paying $7 extra a month, or however much that is in pounds, just to access online features. Seems quite excessive. That's almost as close to just the price of core.
Yeah,
that we're just paying so we can join a lobby with our friends and play online. Yeah, seems quite absurd. Yeah.
So even though not that much really changes with what I'm paying now, I might want to pay less than Ultimate 1 year, but I can't. Like, I can't do that unless I want to sacrifice, or I go to core and lose out on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like a bit of a weird oversight. I think they needed to restructure that a little bit more. It adds even more confusion to what we were talking about before, that there's no clear hierarchy moving from one to the other. They're just different nominal categories rather than ordinal. You know, it's not ordered. Really. So overall, you know, like I said, I think it is a W overall. I think this needed to happen. It makes the brand stronger. It makes it more cross-platform.
Mm.
And Xbox Live Gold was a bit antiquated. Games with Gold was a bit of a bad PR hit, even though you could argue it's a loss of value in total. But yeah, there's a lack of kind of granularity between the tiers. Maybe they'll adjust it, but as of right now, I think it needs some tightening up, because I can't be the only one who's going to feel the same way when it comes round to renewal time and people go, hang on a minute. The only way for me to do everything that I want to do is Ultimate.
Yeah.
I don't want Ultimate. I don't want to play on PC. I don't play EA games.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think there probably will be some backlash on this, and hopefully it will force them to sort of rethink it a little bit more. Or maybe it's just something that they'll iron out themselves. But you know, it does, like you said, it does seem like a bit of an oversight. And yeah, hopefully they sort that out, because I feel like it's unreasonable to kind of strong arm what would be the majority of your current subscribers with the Games Pass catalog they're used to into paying the highest tier all the time. And like you said, $17 a month that's quite expensive. That's probably the highest subscription cost you're paying for. That's probably higher than most TV packages, Disney, Netflix, all that sort of stuff. So it probably goes in there as the most premium subscription you're paying for, alongside any others that you might have going. So it's pricey.
Yeah. And it's part of that problem is that really it alienates the core or even hardcore player. You know, like the people like us who do enjoy Game Pass, who know the upcoming titles for the day one releases, and they use multiplayer. You know, it alienates probably the most important audience. You know, I'd argue. I think core is really good for new entrants. That's great. That makes sense. People can see core to get the kids in, or for someone who's new to the ecosystem or doesn't really play with other people on a Series S. Wonderful. But for the the core audience, confusing. I think people like us and listeners likely, I think it screws us the most, and I think that's what's another layer of frustration there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So that's our thoughts on Game Pass Core. I'm glad there's a bit more synergy going on. Hopefully they can actually overhaul the reward system as well. Game Pass rewards sitting right there,
Yeah, they really should.
But we'll see how it all unfolds. We'll see if they have any changes. You know, typically Xbox are quite good at listening to feedback. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Tim, one of the 3 stories I've got down today was that there was some new job listings for Arkane Austin.
Yeah.
Little tiny studio Arkane Austin. And they appear to be making a single-player action RPG with immersive sim elements.
That is very exciting. But they didn't say it was like a new IP or anything, did they? So it's just it could be a sequel, it could be Prey 2, it could be just anything, a sequel to any of the Sims that they currently have going. But it was Austin that made Prey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it would make sense that they'll go back to. I think it's probably Prey 2, right? Like it's kind of a guaranteed hit, and I feel like that's what they need. So
I like to imagine that after Redfall, like the director team had a sit down with the project managers, the shareholders or whatever, and the shareholders talked before, and they were like, right, we need to really we need to strong arm them into making Prey 2, because that's an easy cash cow.
Yeah.
And they all sit down and the directors look up and they're like, Prey 2? And they're like, Prey 2. And
He's
then they just disband.
Yeah, exactly. He literally just sits down. He's like, puts on like a PowerPoint. He's got one of those like clicker remotes. First slide is just Prey 2, and he's just like, next slide.
In Comic Sans.
Yeah. The next slide's just thanks for watching. And they're like, that's the meme.
Like,
yeah.
Woo!
Nice. One guy's like,
so that's exciting.
2.
I am a bit bummed that the Redfall universe is likely never going to be touched again, because a single player game in that universe would be fucking awesome. You know, I do think that they kind of I really liked the world that they made there. So it's a shame, you know, but if Redfall had to die, so we'll get Prey 2, then so be it. That would be a huge get for Xbox and for the team. I'm sure they're really energized by whatever this project is, whether it's Prey 2 or not. So
yeah,
good news around.
Yeah.
Okay, and final news story for today. We're at that point in the video, guys. If you're still here, if you're watching after the fact, please leave us a like. I'm not going to make any funny quips this time. Nothing funny to say.
It's serious shit, guys.
Our lives might be on the line.
I quit my job last week. I need a like on this video. just fucking do it. Just do it. It's fucking easy. It's not very hard.
How many alts do I need to make? To keep liking these videos?
I'm running out. They're tracking me down.
I can't manage this many emails. I keep getting spam on all of them, and I don't know which is work. I don't know which is doc. I'm missing appointments. You know, I'm really falling apart. Just like the fucking video. Right. Okay. Last story then.
Yeah.
Like I said at the very top of the podcast today, PlayStation won the thing with the FTC. Then the CMA were like, oopsie doops, guess we'll talk again. And then PlayStation went, fuck. Yeah, okay, we'll take a deal. We were just thinking it through. You know, when we appeared at court testifying against you, it was bants. It was just banter. We'll take the deal. It's actually kind of unbelievable how badly PlayStation fumbled this. I get that Jimbo was just doing his job, but I frankly think he made the wrong decision. I think he should have cooperated from the beginning, because I mean, I guess I don't know what he knows, but Xbox seem to, for the most part, want to be quite cooperative about this. Of course, they're going to lose out because Xbox are fucking acquiring a company, but they wanted to originally be quite cooperative. You know, they were never going to pull COD. That was never an issue. And initially they were guaranteeing 3 years of like parity, weren't they? Or 3 years of non-exclusivity. But the speculation is that they're never really going to do that. It's just because they don't want to commit for too long a time unless something happens to the franchise, and they have to keep, making the money to put it over to the PlayStation. And they had also promised initially to keep all Activision franchises coming to PlayStation for the next like 5 years or something. And now that's gone.
Yeah,
they got COD for 10 years, but now there's nothing else.
And I think that's just desserts. You know, I think that's what they get for being greedy and fighting back and thinking we can stop the deal, even though realistically, I mean, we were sweating for a little while, but realistically, with it only benefiting the consumer and not really being that much of a detriment to the industry as a whole, and only improving on competition, this deal was kind of looking to go through, right, at some point, and then fighting on it and stalling it and doing all that. I feel like they're just desserts here a little bit, where they could have had a better deal, right? Like that's essentially what this boils down to, is they could have had a better deal with more things, and now it's just solely COD, which they could argue is the only thing they cared about. But Activision Blizzard, they're big in a lot of other areas as well, and I feel like I feel like they're going to miss out there. So they're going to
No
miss out pretty
doubt.
hard.
Like the thing with COD is 10 years is good for them. I mean, I think 3 years, 5 years was probably still good for them, but that still gave the team quite a lot of time to put one of their current teams on a first person competitor or spy a team. They literally own fucking Bungie, to put up a competitor for, and like I've said before, Marathon literally, it probably will be the next thing that dents COD,
Mm-hmm.
and they own that. So it was never that big a deal, but for the most part, it's even a bigger problem for PlayStation because until this year, all their teams have kind of made their similar things. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean that you can't just take Naughty Dog and put them on a Doom like, or put them on a Diablo like to make an
Yeah.
action RPG competitor. You can't just take
Yeah, you kind of made your bed with
Bend.
those studios. That's kind of what they make now, are that type of game, right?
Yeah,
So
you can't just take Bend to make an Overwatch 3, a hero shooter competitor. Like those teams are going to struggle unless you really hire up and make a second team for them in the same way Playground has done with their Racer and now their Fable team. So I think it's a bigger problem for them than they probably realize. Like I'm sure, it's not going to kill them, but the fact that a Diablo 5 could be exclusive is probably pretty worrying to them. The fact that all of this content now has no parity, like all Game Pass probably, it's probably pretty worrying to them. And that's not including the new IPs. Like, I bet my bottom dollar Phil wants to keep all of the new IP stuff quiet until the deal goes through so he can announce it as at least a Game Pass Day One title and at best an exclusive. Project Odyssey, the survival game from Blizzard, or whatever Infinity Ward are working on with their AAA open world IP. That's whether the team at Xbox wants to make them exclusive or not, they have the option to now, whereas that wasn't even on the table before.
true. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely an issue for Sony. They're basically they're just getting less now, and like you said, they've kind of dug a hole with a lot of their studios, which, don't get me wrong, have made fantastic games, but they all do fit into a pretty similar space. And it's asking a lot. And I know, like you said, you use Naughty Dog as an example, and technically Naughty Dog are actually making a shooter, a Last of Us shooter, multiplayer shooter. So we'll see how that turns out. For all we know, that actually could be a banger. So
well, they're struggling though, aren't they?
They are struggling.
Bungie had to come in and say, "Nah, mate, this ain't it."
Yeah. And again, like you said, that shows the expertise of the studio, right? That they don't build games like that, and Bungie do. And Bungie were like, yeah, this shit's backwards, lads. Like, yeah, this is not how you do this. So yeah, really the only studio that has any space, especially in the first person shooter market and stuff like that, for them is like Bungie at the moment. It's like a competitor for Call of Duty. But yeah, it's not even just shooters.
Who made
like
Killzone?
They've got Killzone was made by, I don't know. I genuinely wouldn't know.
Was that Guerrilla? Is Guerrilla. So they do have they have a first person.
Yeah,
history.
they have an okay one. And like Resistance, was it Guerrilla that did Resistance as well, or is Resistance somewhere else?
Was this Insomniac? No. Resistance game.
No.
Yeah, developed by Insomniac.
Oh, okay. Well, that's weird. So
Is that first person? Is it?
I'm pretty sure Resistance is a first person shooter. Yeah.
First person and third person shooter. Depends on the installment, I guess. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them.
So yeah, they've got some, but I mean, just even outside
They're
of the
old.
shooter space, they are old. Yeah. Resistant games are really old. Yeah. Yeah, like outside of the first person shooter space, yeah, they're missing out on a studio that makes these kind of games like Diablo and stuff like that. Potentially never reaching their platform, and they're like peak at those kind of games, so it's a pretty big hit, man. So we'll have to see how that lands, but yeah, overall I think that's it's a bit of an L on Sony's behalf there, but see how that turns out for their future.
I mean, what do you think is like, because of now, of course, we're all kind of assuming the deal's going through. It's just kind of a when and where, and what is Microsoft going to offer up to the CMA as a resolution? What are they going to divest? That's the speculation. Do you think, because of the speculation is that this Odyssey game, the new IP from Blizzard is going to get announced this year at BlizzCon? Let's quickly check when BlizzCon is.
No idea. This is I imagine towards the end of the year.
November.
October.
Okay, so they've got a while. Beginning of November. If the acquisition goes through, let's say in the next month or two, even, so that brings us into August or September. Do you think, like, what happens? Like, do they still announce this new game at BlizzCon and just not put the platforms? Do they announce it as an Xbox game? Does Philly pull it and keep it for the next showcase? Because to me, this game is the Bethesda Starfield. Apparently the game is quite far along. And it's the game which is like, this is why the acquisition was worth it to the mainstream audience. Obviously we know we've had things like Hi-Fi Rush, and other Bethesda content is ongoing. But Starfield is the big thing of like, holy shit, this is an Xbox game. I feel like whatever this Project Odyssey is like, oh, holy shit, this is a Blizzard game, a Blizzard Xbox game, What's your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that they do that? Like, do they pull it from a Blizzard show, or do they just leave it and let it go multi-plat with maybe a Game Pass deal?
I mean, but they don't need to pull it from a Blizzard show to still announce it as exclusive. They could still
don't know if they've ever done that before.
They could still have Blizzard just show it off and do it on their stage, but then just have it be exclusive. Or even, maybe they just take the day one Games Pass route. I said that really weird. Games Pass.
Games one route.
The day one Games Pass route. And just have it multiplayer, but we have it into Games Pass, It's quite. What the hell just happened? You just do that? Oh god, dude, that was freaky. I thought I was getting hacked. You've really threw me off with that. I don't know is basically the sentiment I'm trying to get here. I think that if it's that much of a big deal and it's actually that far along to the point where gameplay can be shown and a lot of hype can be drawn up for this, I could potentially see it being pulled and showed at like an Xbox Developer Direct or something like that. The next one they do, but I don't know how far along this is. I don't really know too much about it, but based on, you're normally a bit gremlin when it comes to these sort of things. If you're saying it's pretty far along based on insider speculation and stuff like that, then perhaps this is a thing we can see, especially if they're that buzzed about it. The Developer Direct was solely put into place to spotlight games that Xbox are buzzed about, right, and give them more time in the spotlight. So what is that? Is that a phone?
It's a crying PlayStation 5.
Oh, it's a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
What's the weird little mouth thing?
According to Bing AI image creator. I don't know, man.
Yeah. So that's my
Rebecca. Game Pass. Oh, hi, Arj. I need Game Pass Rex. Tim, do you have any Game Pass recommendations right now? This
Exo Prime. No, I don't think that's that kind of game.
Well, I just recommended Planet of Lana. I think that's a good recommendation.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I haven't really been playing too much on Games Pass, so no, I don't really know.
That's true. Yeah.
What did I
Sorry, you've
start
caught us a
recently?
bad time. We should probably know more, shouldn't we? But...
Monster Sanctuary's fun. I've been playing that
Oh yeah.
cloud recently. Yeah, with my new
One of
backbone.
the women I met uni with said she was playing Spiritfarer. Apparently, that's really good. I didn't know it was like as acclaimed as it is. She was like, "Oh, I really love it," and then I went online and checked. I was like, "Oh, it's like really good."
Yeah.
Spiritfarer and other thing. What? Why are you looking about that?
No, my voice just cracked. Monster Sanctuary.
Right.
I was saying it's quite good.
Sanctuary. Nice. There you go. We're the right place for that sort of stuff. Just no hesitation.
Easy as that.
Easy as that.
Lots of good ones.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in closing, I think whatever this Blizzard Odyssey game is, Xbox will be wanting to get it, particularly as a new IP. There's like no PR backlash from doing so. And I will be a bit bummed if they don't add it to the Xbox catalog because
Will you be bummed if they made it they had it multi-plat, but it was still Games Pass? You'd be pretty bummed by that, would you?
I mean, it wouldn't like it doesn't
Just
I
a
don't
missed
lose
opportunity.
anything. I think it'd be a
the
missed opportunity
brand.
for the brand to have its for ABK to have its Starfield moment like early on. We've had to wait until the end of 2023 for it to finally come, and it looks like it's going to be amazing. But there you go. There's another Game Pass recommendation. Starfield. That's coming out September 9th.
Yeah. Or I was
Yeah.
thinking what's the rat game called?
The rat game. Oh, why'd you? Yeah, Plague's Tale.
There you go.
Plague's Tale. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah,
Redfall.
I think it'd be a missed opportunity. Don't play Redfall. I think I just think it'd be a missed opportunity. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree. But then, like, equally, it might not be a missed opportunity just to get the game more popularity, right? Have it multi-player, have it get a massive player base, have it,
Nah, fuck
be
'em.
super crazy popular. That equally is just as beneficial for the brand and for Blizzard. So, especially Blizzard in a little bit in the toilet at the moment. So,
nah,
wouldn't be surprised if Xbox axes them off soon.
Well, there was this thing with like fucking Diablo and that whole thing that was happening, but then on launch day the game had like 15-minute like queues to get in, so it was like,
oh yeah, people. That's what I mean. It's just rage. Like it's the same. Like every single, like for all like the shooters, like Apex and stuff like that. Everyone's like, it's the worst season ever, but they still play it 10 hours a day. Like,
yeah, that's right.
It's weird, man. Gamers are weird. They just like to lash themselves. I don't. So they're not having fun on it, but they refuse to boot up another game. Like it's a weird disease. I'm convinced it's a disease.
Yeah, no, it does. It feels like a bit of a disease. Or possession, maybe, some sort of spiritual possession.
Yeah. Games aren't designed to be played 24/7. They're not designed to be the only game you play all the time. It's okay to turn off a game and play something else. No. It's okay to juggle Diablo and Planet of Lana. It's okay.
Stop it. What the fuck are you doing?
It's all right, guys.
Red laser just appears on your forehead.
Except if it's Remnant, that deserves 100% of your attention because the game is. I think it requires 100% of your focus to just get everything. Yeah, family, nah, you're done.
Nah, food, no,
maybe, but
sustenance
on like a sort of drip form. Yeah, have it go straight into the veins. Yeah.
Bit intravenous Burger King. Sounds good.
Oh, I haven't had a Burger King in a while, man. Were you drinking out of a Burger King cup right there?
No, I was, yeah.
Yeah, I've had 2 Burger Kings in like the last year, I'd say maybe, or 2 years, and both of them have been fucking awful.
Takeout?
So bad. No. We ate in. Like
Oh,
we
really?
went to like the
Jesus.
cinema and then went and grabbed a Burger King. Like the burgers were so dry. There was like no sauce in
Yeah,
them at all. And I shit you
yeah.
not, one of them, I was eating it and the bun was crumbling to like dust in my hand as I was eating it. I thought it was fucking like Thanos. I thought it got snapped away. Yeah. It was
That's
so
so funny.
dry, dude. So we just don't go back now. It's if we want fast food burgers, we go Mackey's, or if we
It's
want
Macca's,
premium,
yeah.
we go Five Guys. Like,
No, no, yeah. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with Burger King. They're so inconsistent, man. And like it's even worse if you order. I mean, I've told you my horror story. Sometimes I'll order at like
yeah, they just cancel it.
10:30. Yeah, 10:30, and I'll wait until like midnight. And I'll be like, one time I called at midnight because I ordered it an hour and a half ago. Nothing had happened.
Yeah, I was there.
And
That I was
were
there for
you?
that one. Yeah, and then you and
Yeah,
Beth ended up going out in your car to go get food from the 24-hour Mackey's because it got cancelled at
yeah.
like midnight.
And I could hear the guy was literally like sweeping the floor. I could hear him, and he was like, "Yeah, we've been closed for an hour." And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're closed? Fucking boot up the burger machine. Like boot that shit up.
The burger machine. Yeah.
Burger machine.
Do it. Get it up.
He makes them. Yeah.
Imagine if that guy was just an absolute legend. He's like, mate,
You know what, man?
I got you. He just like fires up the grill, just makes your order and delivers it on his way home.
Yeah. But that shit like that has happened so much where they just don't come. They're just like, yeah, I can see it on the screen, but nah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Got your money though.
Yeah,
You
you've got your
fucking
money for now. You might get it back. But yeah.
Disappointing. There are times where I've seen like cars have like gone up the road, and then they've gone back down the road, and then they never come back.
Really? But he just
Yeah,
like
it's
drives
just like-
up to your house and you can see him eating your Whopper. He's
I'm
like spins
I've got
around.
I've got my face pushed up against the glass, like spread. I'm like, please.
Oh god. That is funny. It's funny shit. Burger King, man.
Oh, fucking Burger King. What happened? You're the
They
king.
used to be king. Not anymore. Fucking Burger Jack.
What about Macca's right now? Do you know, I've got one closing conversation before we start to wrap this shit up. In the UK, Tim, we have a new permanent addition to the menu, don't we? In McDonald's.
The Mc
It's the
Spicy.
McCrispy and the McSpicy. I find this fascinating. I think this is fascinating because
Alright.
what does that say about us? You know, what does that? Are we
chicken?
spicy food enjoyers in
Oh.
the UK? Like more so than other countries? Is that accurate?
I don't know. I think it is. I do think we have quite a lot of people that enjoy spice in this country, but then I think we're very much it's all or nothing. I think Britain is literally just like you fucking love spice or you can only eat a fucking korma. Like there's no like middle ground. Like I feel it's one or the other. I'm definitely the latter. If I can make a meal hot and spicy, I do it like all the time, without fail. And I add my own hot sauce if I need to. So
Hot sauce, like buffalo sauce.
yeah, I have Frank's. I get like the hot Nando's one. I get the black fire sriracha as well, which is nice.
Whoa, the little tug you gave me as well there.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Which is basically
It's
just
not one of these.
Nah.
It's one of these. Yeah,
Yeah, it's me dabbing it on.
Oh yeah, yeah. The old dab. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it comes out in that nice nut pattern over your feet.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want no. Yeah, I want the pattern to be erratic. Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, it's funny because I think this is good for us. I think this is a cultural W because, you know, Americans, you know what it's like out there on the mean streets of Twitter, Instagram. You know, you post something, just a little pale English person, and then you have Americans and Europeans coming in, and they're like, even though it's just a picture of your cat, you know, they'll be like, God, you fucking eat shit food. What is this? World War One? What beans on toast is it? And now we can say, actually, if you look at the global index of the McDonald's menus, we got a spicy chicken, boy. You know what I mean? Like that's
spicy chicky boy. Yeah,
that's a tasty little snack. What have you got? McRib, barbecue, or don't push it too far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shit, man.
Don't hurt yourself.
You really have a fucking essay on this. I don't think you.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I've brought this conversation up with more people than I probably should have. I don't know.
Jeez.
It just occurred to me that it's become there's been things that McDonald's have added to the menu which they've then taken away because they haven't been popular enough.
I hate that they take away the big
wraps.
Tasty. Why?
No, but that's seasonal. That's
Fuck
okay.
me,
Chill.
that shit's good.
That's seasonal though. That's different. That's like not a mainstay item.
It should be.
Whereas, okay, that's fine, dude. I can hear you heated about this. I don't want to push this any further.
Fucking delicious. And they made a spicy one. Did you ever have the spicy Big Tasty?
Yes, I did. I had the spicy.
Fucking glorious. It's like they made it for Tim. It's like in the brackets they put, it's for you, Tim. This one goes out to you.
This is the future of AI, like custom food creations. Yeah, I mean, they don't call it the Big Tasty for no reason.
Me, when they take the Big Tasty away, I've got the.
What are they going to call it? What are they going to call it? The little teeny weeny, not so yummy.
Yeah. It's got a nice ring to it.
Rolls off the tongue, that does.
Yeah, I'll take the little teeny weeny, not so yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make it a meal.
It's a go.
Yeah.
Do you want any sauce? No. I like it as is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, so now we can say, yeah, we've got fucking this is part of our cultural. This is our culture, actually. So
I don't ever want to refer to my culture as McDonald's, but yeah.
For the road, let me just whack it into a Bing image AI creator. English spicy McChicken with a Union Jack and a happy man.
You're taking a paragraph into the AI.
It'll be right. He's as smart as
explode.
No, it's good.
AI is not as smart as you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what was it called? A spicy
McSpicy.
McSpicy. I have a feeling it's not going to get that. Spicy chicken sandwich. There we go. Would you dare say we've gone off track?
Just a bit. Just a little bit.
We're an Xbox show. I mean, we're a niche within a niche.
We're a fast
there's no
food
stopping
show.
us. I could do that. Here we go. This is good. I've got some good stuff for you. They're all ginger. Nice. I like this. This is great.
Of course they're all ginger. They're fucking British.
I'm going to get rid of that. There you go. There's number one. Sorry, audio listeners, you can't see the beauty that AI has just made for us.
That's a healthy McSpicy though. It's like an entire chicken in there.
Yo, that one has the flag in the burger with like a stick going through the burger. That's fucking awesome.
Why is his eyes bulging out slightly?
It's exciting.
So spicy.
There you go. Well. Okay, well, as we cool off from this, what is definitely a very funny segment, shall we start the jingle?
Yeah. The stream ended. I ended it like 10 minutes ago.
It's been going on. As soon as you heard me say it, as soon as you heard me say McSpicy, you're like, I'm sure this will be nice, but he's just going to keep going.
Yeah, I know where this train goes.
All right. Ladies and gents, I'm sorry. Surely, I don't know what came over me. It's just how it is, isn't it? Let's face it, you don't come here for informative content. You come here for a good time, and that's, I hope, what we've provided, so
Yeah. I don't know.
Shaking your head.
Yeah,
You're
I'm,
like,
not, I'm not sure.
yeah.
6 out of 10, maybe.
Which part? On the overall show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, this has been fun. We're going to probably play some more Remnant between this week and next week. We're not here next week. There's no show
yeah.
next week.
Good call.
So you're going to have to get your laughs somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get your Xbox news somewhere else. It's slim pickings out there. Slim chickens out there.
Yeah. Good luck next week, lads. No QRP to fall back on to make your weekend, to improve your weekend. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone. Enjoy these images for a little while longer. I'm just going to let the jingle play out in silence with these images. I'm going to mute my mic.
Oh no, he has. He's actually done it. He's such a power trip. It's such a power move. Oh god, he's saluting. That's how you know he means it. If you're a listener and you don't usually watch, you should probably come over and watch us on youtube.com/Quick Resume Podcast. He's saluting with 2 hands now. It's really gone off the track. We've really lost it. So I need help. I think it's a threat. Please send someone to my house. He's dabbing.